horizon should be and check if that's actually happening. And we find that it's not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we see a boat sail out, say you got a giant cruise ship, right? If you got real clear conditions and no waves, the cruise ship will just go out, 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 and it'll get smaller and smaller and smaller due to perspective, and then it'll get so small that you can't see it anymore. Okay, and it looks like it's gone. You can still see the horizon, but you can't see the cruise ship anymore. And then you can pull out a camera, like a super zoom camera, and zoom in where the cruise ship was, and then you can see the whole cruise ship again. So it didn't actually go over any curvature, which it would have had to if the Earth was a globe. It just went out of your field of view, right? Your range of perspective.
Mm.
But I get why, like, they didn't have these high-powered optics back in the old days, right? Where they might have seen a boat go out and they can't see the boat anymore, and they're like, oh, it must have gone over the curvature of the Earth. And then sometimes, obviously, if you've got like ocean swells, then it's going to look like the boat's disappearing bottom up because the boat's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But those ocean swells are still close to you, right? So it's kind of like the ship's going to reduce in angular size and it's going to look like it's disappearing behind the ocean swells bottom up. And then sometimes you can have some miraging effects and things like that make it look like it's sinking, right? One of the miraging effects is called sinking, where it looks like things are sinking in the distance. So yeah, it's not caused by the curvature of the Earth. Yeah, I got a video here of a big giant cruise ship. I think it's a cruise ship. Anyway, it looks like a giant ship. But you'll see that when this guy he's zoomed out, he's just standing at the beach, nice calm day, no waves. And when he's zoomed out, you can't see the boat at all. And then it's not until about halfway through his zoom that the boat starts to come into view again. And then once he fully zooms in, you can see the whole boat again.
Mm. I wonder how far that boat is. Probably like a few miles.
It's probably about 10 to 15 miles out because of other videos that I've got where it's like a similar sized boat, and we know the distance to the boat because you can check them on shipping radar apps, right? And it'll tell you the size of the boat, the name of the boat, and stuff like that. Yeah, like I got an observation here. I'll just find it. And we know the exact distance to this boat, and you shouldn't be able to see it. It should be completely hidden by the curvature of the Earth. All right, so here's a different observation. All right, so he's got on this one. He's got the second. Yeah, so with this one, he's got the camera set up at just 1 meter high. Okay, so the horizon should be at 3.4 kilometers away. Okay, and you shouldn't be able to see any more water past the horizon, right? Because the horizon's like the line where the sky and the ground meets. Right, but he's looking out and he's got a wind farm out there. And the wind farm's like 11 point something miles away, 11.2 miles away. And then you can see a boat when he zooms right in. You can see a boat out past the wind farms. Okay, and the guy that did this observation, Dr. John D, he tracked the boat on shipping radar, on 2 different shipping radar apps. And he looked up the name of the boat and how big the boat is and how far, it says how far away the boat is, so it's called the Shetland Trader. And he looked up the height of it, and then he did the math and worked out that, yeah, you shouldn't be able to see any of the boat. It should be completely hidden behind the curvature of the Earth. It's 14 nautical miles, 14.1 nautical miles out, I think. 12.1 nautical miles out. Hold on, I'll post the screenshots from the shipping tracking radar. All right, so that's the boat. It's called the Shetland Trader. It's the only boat that was out there. And yeah, 12.1 nautical miles. which is
That's
like
far.
about 14 nautical miles out. Okay, and this is the ship, and then he shows you like this is what height the ship is, and then here's the calculations on an Earth curvature calculator to tell you how much should be hidden over that distance, right? So I'll just open up the curvature calculator. Okay, so the eye height, the camera height, 3.5 foot, which is 1 meter. Oh, he's got it in metric there. Yeah, 1 meter. And then the target, the ship's 22 kilometers away, which is 13.9 miles. Okay, so it says the target hidden height is 27 meters. Okay, which is 89 foot. Okay, and now we check the size of what the boat is. So I'll just post this. Just 1 second. Right, so this has got the height of the boat. Yeah, so it's like 7 meters or something like that.
Like 7 meters were visible.
No, the boat's 7 meters above. Like, can you see the image I just put in the side chat? So from where the water, because some of the boats like under the water, right? Because it's sitting in the
Oh,
water. So that's like 7 meters to where the deck is, and then it's much higher, above that, just the masts and things like that. But we can see like basically the whole boat if you scroll up and have a look at when he zooms out to it, you can see basically the whole boat. But the whole boat should be completely hidden behind the horizon by what did it say? 27 meters.
hmm.
Back in just a second.
I wonder where this approximation was taken to like calculate like the Earth's curvature. Because like if this like if this optical camera that's like zoomed in this much and saw the boat like and if these measurements are true, then like something's not right. Like who actually
Exactly.
took these measurements?
Yeah. So this is a guy named Dr. John D. Right. He's like got a PhD, and he actually set out to debunk flat Earth originally. Okay, so these screenshots are just from a full-length video on his channel where he spends an hour and a half going over the whole observation. He shows you the whole setup, and he'll show you the distances and everything. He goes over everything in detail. But the main thing that we're looking at in this one is the windmill farm. Okay, because we know the exact distance to the windmill farm, and we can see it really clearly. I'll just repost. Whoops. 1 second. Yeah, I'll just repost the observation, so it's right there in the chat. All right, because the main thing that he's looking at is that windmill farm. Okay, so I'm just gonna excuse me. I'm just gonna show you a close up of the windmill farm, just what it looks like close up. 1 second. All right, here it is. All right, so this is the target. Okay, so the windmill farm's 8 miles away. The closest windmill's 8 miles away on the left. You can see 6 windmills when he zooms in. So the one on the left's 8 miles away, and then each one's a little bit further until the one on the right is 11.2 miles away. And then there's a picture just underneath that of what they look like close up. So when it's low tide, the paint's like stripped off the bottom of them. So you can see that black portion at the bottom. Okay, so when he
Because the
zooms in,
water
yeah, because the water like corrodes the paint off or whatever.
when it's high
So
tide.
it's low tide when he did the observation. So you can see that low tide mark. When it's high tide, it comes up to like the top of that black bit there. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we can do the calculations, right? So I'll show you a screenshot. Okay, so you can just go on Google and type in Earth curvature calculator if you want to double check this, but this is just me taking a screenshot of from the Earth curvature calculator. They all give the same results. Okay, so we put in the target to the object, right, which is the furthest windmill on the right-hand side, and that's 11.2 miles out, which is about, I think it's 18 kilometers. And then the eye height level is 3.5 foot, which is 1 meter. Okay, and then the target distance to the horizon is 2.29 miles, which is 3.4 kilometers approximately. Okay, so that's where the cutoff point should be for the water. That's like the horizon is defined as the line in which the sky and the ground appear to meet. So you shouldn't be able to see any more water past the horizon if the Earth's a globe. Okay, so at the bottom, 52 feet of the windmill should be obstructed behind the horizon. That's why it says at the bottom there, obscured object part, 52.9 feet. I think that's about 16 meters. So the bottom 16 meters of the windmill tower at the bottom should be hidden behind that horizon, but it's not. We can see just flat water all the way past where the horizon should be on a globe, and then all the way out to like past where that boat is until it kind of like gets kind of hazy past the boat. But yeah, this doesn't work on a globe. Right over that distance, there's like a huge amount of curvature, like over 100 feet of curvature.
Mm.
If the Earth were a globe. Right, so he went back and he did it on different days, and he's got all of it logged. Right. He also does high powered laser tests, where he shoots instead of just observing things in the distance, he'll shoot high powered lasers across the surface of the water and hit a target on the other side, which would also be impossible if the Earth were a globe, because there should be, hundreds of feet of curvature between point A and point B. And yeah,
Mm.
that's what's good about this. Like if you don't have to just like blindly believe in this, right? You can say, all right, I'm gonna go check for myself, if you wanted to, and you can go do it yourself, right? Like I did myself. I used to live on a big lake. I don't know if are you from Australia?
No, I'm from Canada.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, well, I lived on a giant lake, and yeah, we had like a 20-kilometer stretch across the lake. So I went and did a whole bunch of my own tests across the lake, and I could zoom in across the lake and see the shoreline because it had like white sand beaches on the shoreline. I could zoom across and see the white sand beach on the other side of the lake. I did it a whole bunch of times, and there should have been like way more than 50 feet of curvature over that distance, blocking my view. And yeah, there's just like tons and tons of tests, right? We've even had teams of field engineers have gone out, right? This group called Field Engineers Corps went out with a $30,000 laser, and they were doing like 40-kilometer laser tests using this beast of a laser. And there's like an hour-long video where they show the whole setup and they show the experiment being done, and there's like a big technical 180-page PDF document where they go over all of the temperatures and the laser specifications and stuff like that. So quite a bit of effort's been put into this, and we can't find any curvature. So then we go okay, so we do all of these tests, we can't find any curvature after thousands of different tests that have been done and observations. And then so we go hunting, like who throughout all of history went out and actually validated this so-called curvature that's meant to be there. And that's where you start running into a brick wall, right? You're not going to be able to find anything empirical. You're going to find ancient Greeks that made a bunch of assumptions and did some calculations based off those assumptions, or people like Pythagoras that like literally were batshit crazy cult leaders, and you're not going to find any empirical evidence for the globe when it comes to curvature. That's for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, lots of information, man. I didn't mean to waffle on for too long.
Yeah, it's because like I can see hundreds of like not hundreds. I don't know if I can see hundreds of kilometers out, but I could definitely see like 100 kilometers out. Like I could see like a beach shore from the beach shore. It's like why can I see that if there's supposed to be a lot of curvature?
Right. And
It's like
you can calculate like how much curvature there should be and how far away the thing is that you can see. And that's what people started doing. Like back in this like kicked off really big in 2015, when Nikon released a camera called the Nikon P900, and it's like a crazy powerful zoom camera. And people were zooming in on islands and things like that that were like way past where you should be able to see them. And they're like, hey, and they started like putting the videos online, and they're like, this does not work on a globe. And yeah, it's there's so many observations that have been done. And I've been looking for one that actually would match up with a globe for years, and I haven't seen one that not even close matches up with a globe.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll put another one in the side chat quickly, because this is a crazy one as well. Another one where it's like crystal clear conditions, no wind, real like dry air, not much humidity because it's in Utah. So this is at the Great Salt Lake in Utah. And this is 21 miles, which is 34 kilometers. And this guy, he just sets his camera up 5 foot high on a tripod on one side of the lake. Okay, this is his camera setup. It's a Nikon P1000, one of the most powerful zoom cameras you can get. Right, and then he's going to be zooming across to the other side of the lake and testing to see what should be there if the Earth's a globe. Okay, so that's the top view from Google Earth, just showing where he was standing. He was standing at the top of the yellow line, and he's zooming across to the other side of the lake, which is at the bottom of the picture. Okay, and then he had a buddy over on the other shoreline, 21 miles away, who took some footage, and this is what it looks like on the other side of the lake. So he's going to be standing behind that camera and zooming over to this shoreline that you can see here. And now we do some math, right? Some pretty simple math. And we just use an Earth curvature calculator to make it even easier. Okay, so based off the eye height, okay, so you put in the eye height, 5 foot, which is 1.5 meters. And then you put in the target distance, 21 miles, which is 34 kilometers. And then it calculates how far the horizon should be if the Earth's a globe. Okay, so the horizon distance should be 2.7 miles, which is, I think it's about 4 kilometers, something like that. And then the target hidden height, which is the shoreline on the other side of the lake, that should be hidden behind the horizon by 223 feet, which is it's just a bit over 80 meters or something like that, I think. Yeah, something like 80 meters. But yeah, a ton, right? Like a skyscraper worth of curvature.
Oh,
Okay, so now I'll just post the observation again quickly. Okay, and then I'll post a few screenshots from it because he did it during the day, and then he stayed there and he did it again during the night. So first thing you'll notice, the first thing we're looking for is that horizon. Okay, so the horizon is the maximum distance you should be able to see the water. That's the line in which the sky and the ground appear to meet. That's what the horizon is. And on a globe, it's due to the curvature of the Earth. So anything beyond the horizon should start to become hidden behind the horizon. So we don't see any horizon over the entire 21 miles. Okay, there's no horizon. It just looks like flat water all the way across the lake. And then when he zooms in, you can see the shoreline on the other side of the lake as well. Okay, and you can notice the big white tower that's in the background as well. Right, and none of that tower is obstructed. Right, so here's an even more of a close-up picture of the shoreline and the tower. Okay, so see the bottom of the tower, and then under the tower you can see the shoreline. And then this is what it looks like from 21 miles away.
Yeah,
There's no
there's
curve.
like you can't even see it. There's just none.
Yeah, so
Like you can see the
that's
whole
from
building.
yeah, you can see the whole building. You can even see you can see like there's like puddles all over the shoreline on the other side. And you can even at nighttime you can see the light reflecting off the lights there on those puddles that are on the lake there. So you can see the shoreline. That's the target's the shoreline.
Yeah,
So this is how much curvature there should be, right? If there was a skyscraper that was 30 stories high, sitting on the other side of the lake, then you would only just be able to see the top couple of stories of the skyscraper. The whole rest would be hidden behind the horizon if the Earth were a globe. So yeah,
yeah.
and then after this, they actually did like a laser test as well. So he set up the laser at 5 foot high and made it horizontal and shot it across the lake, and then his buddy on the other side could see the laser beam. They actually shot lasers across the lake towards each other. So here's the some pictures of that. I'll post the full video it's from if you want to check it out later as well. He goes through everything. So that's the laser beam that he's shooting out, and then this is his buddy seeing the beam from the other side.
That's a powerful laser. Holy.
Yeah, yeah. Super powerful, expensive laser beams. I'll
Imagine
post.
21 miles and it's still a perfect laser.
Yeah, you know they do diverge out a bit as the laser goes out, right? But when you have really good quality lasers with like a collimator, it keeps the laser beam nice and like a like a beam rather than spreading out too much. But if the Earth were a globe, right? If you're setting up the laser horizontally, the person on the other side of the lake should see the laser beam like 220 feet up in the air. There's no way the laser can hit the target on the other side of the lake
Mm.
if the Earth were a globe. So yeah, that's that's where we're coming from, man. Like empirical evidence, actually testing it, questioning the globe, looking for someone to come in and say, "Oh no, it's look, here's proof that it's a globe," but it never happens. We talk to professors and physicists and satellite engineers and all sorts of people come through here, and none of them have any empirical evidence of Earth curvature.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'll show you what it looks like when the laser hits the target. Okay, so this is from a different observation done by the team of field engineers, and this is 40 kilometers, so it's even longer one. Yeah, so this one's from a 40-kilometer test, and that's they set up this big giant target on the other side.
Oh yeah.
So this is like a team of field engineers. This is one of the most technical ones that's ever been done. So I'll post it. There's a video, an hour-long video, where they go over everything and show you the whole test.